Hey everyone, welcome back to Cody Tarot. I'm your tarot reader, Cody. So for today's pick a card, we're going to be doing what does your crush like about you? So this could get into territory if your crush likes you back, but basically we're just trying to figure out like what can you work off of with your crush? Like what is it that your crush admires about you or likes about you? And we're going to be seeing kind of like what that kind of chemistry is on their end of the side, on their end of everything. So I already filmed the readings today, so I'm filming their intro after. Interestingly enough, the readings ended up being a little bit short, like compared to my normal readings. So bear that in mind. It's going to be like quick messages, short and to the point. But yeah, let's get into the readings. These are the 5 groups in front of us. So group number 1, we have the Lepidolite, the tumbled Lepidolite. That's for group 1. Group 2, we have the Aquamarine. Group 3, we have the Lapis Lazuli. Group 4, we have the Citrine. And group 5, we have the Amethyst heart. So take all the time you need to pick your crystal. You can pause the video here if you need to. Sometimes when you pick your crystal, sometimes it helps to close your eyes, take a deep breath in, exhale, open your eyes, and the first crystal that pops out to you is usually the one that's like good for you. That's your pile. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna get started with group number 1, the Lepidolite. Hey group 1, if you chose the Lepidolite, the tumbled Lepidolite. So let's get into your reading. So first of all, these are the cards that kind of flipped out first out of the deck. And we have a couple Pentacles cards and we have a Scribe card, which indicates like practical type stuff. So we'll see if that is more prevalent in the reading, but let me flip over your other cards and see what the entire picture is showing me here. Okay, one thing's coming through very strong with these cards over here is this person really admires your dedication. And with Scribe here, we have preserving knowledge and information. So this person definitely appreciates the fact that you kind of like are really like studious. 8 of Pentacles is my education card. And with Scribe here, this is just showing that you're very studious, you're very knowledgeable, you preserve like knowledge and traditions through like recording things. Scribe is kind of a card about recording impressions that other people create. So they kind of like the fact that you kind of like, in a way, you're good at assimilating their experiences and making sense of them. So they really like that about you, that they could have some kind of like intense experience and you would really like understand it and assimilate it and describe it back to them in kind of like a recorded form. One thing over here with Breathe, one thing that they really, really like about you, and this came out to me very, very, like in the very beginning of the reading, is they really feel relaxed around you. They really like that they can relax around you. You feel like a breath of fresh air to them. So your crush kind of like likes to just chill, and it's like they find it really easy to talk to you. They feel like you're a really powerful manifester. That's one thing that they like about you. That you can really easily bring things into your life that maybe other people can't, that you can kind of really achieve situations and stuff with relative ease. Whether that's true or not, this is just kind of a reading based on what your crush likes about you, what they like about you. So one thing with Ace of Swords right here, they like when you're like hesitant or doubtful. They like that you're a little unsure of yourself. They find that like very cute and endearing. They're kind of not looking for people who are like super decisive, even though they do see that you're dedicated. Like that's one thing that they really admire about you, that they see when they like meet you. They kind of get this vibe that you're a dedicated person to things in your life. So either through your studies or through like work or like hobbies or interests, The Death card reverse indicates like a not wanting to change something after it's completed, and the Chariot indicates like willpower, and this indicates repetition. So this is all just reading to me as dedication. Interestingly enough, they like that you're a little like financially dependent on them or on other people. So whether they see you with someone else or with them, they like this idea that you are dependent on someone else financially. This is probably stemming from some kind of typical power thing where it's like they want to be the provider, they want to be the one providing for you. So they really like the fact that you kind of rely on other people's finances to get by. They like that you kind of like in a sense like struggle to kind of provide for yourself, because they see that as like an area that they can kind of help you with. Even though with the Magician card you do find and get things in your life, they do see that like, how best should I describe this? Generally they see you as needing their support, but for the most part they see you, it's almost like they see you being able to manifest the type of support that will support you, that they kind of could provide. They definitely feel like you kind of found them in a sense. There's an aspect where it's like, oh, they found me, and so that's really like it. They really like that actually as well. Let's see, what else am I seeing? Yeah, with Scribe, they like that you kind of like are a record keeper, you record things. So the fact if you're really knowledgeable, it's really important with your crush to share that knowledge, because they're gonna just like you even more, that the fact that you're like very knowledgeable, or you have a lot of like a repertoire of information. So they like that you can kind of talk on many different subjects because you've recorded and assimilated those impressions in the past. So basically don't stress too much about the fact that like these impressions have to be like something that they know about or that you know about, or like you have to know a specific type of subject. They just like the impressions that you've registered about all the subjects that you've learned about in the past. But what I'm also seeing too is that you are very well educated, and that they really admire that like pursuit of knowledge that you kind of pursue. But if a topic comes up that like you don't know anything about, that's not going to be that much of a deal to them. They just kind of like hearing your impressions, kind of like your recorded insights into what experiences like have been, you know, that you have seen through others, that you have kind of recorded and synthesized it within yourself. Yeah, it's interesting how it's an interesting situation, because they do like that you kind of doubt a little bit, that you have this kind of like lack of clarity, because I feel like they want to provide that clarity for you, and they want to provide that financial security for you as well. They definitely see themselves as a provider. Your crush sees themselves as more of a provider, especially in regard to you. They like that they see it as kind of cute that you can't like provide for yourself. But it's interesting, they really admire your dedication. This can, like dedication to knowledge and understanding information, that's coming through very strong. All right, so that was your reading. If you enjoyed your reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, subscribe to my channel. I post pick-a cards like this pretty frequently. With that said, we're gonna move on to group 2, the Aquamarine. And yeah. Hey, group 2, if you picked the, what is this? The Aquamarine. Pick the Aquamarine. Okay, so a lot of cards flipped out of the decks when I was shuffling. Like all of these flipped out upright, like very clearly, very dominant cards. This is the only one that was kind of like hidden. So let's flip over this card and then we will get started with your reading. Okay, one thing that's coming through very strongly is, hold on, let me take one quick look at this card. Yeah, one thing that is coming through very strongly is this yang energy, and as like a very dominant factor of like something that's like really strong. What they like about you is the fact that like you're really a go-getter. Like when all is said and done, like you're not afraid to like go after your goals. You're not afraid to make things happen with action, with actual physical action. This is also reflected here with the Four of Swords, indicating that they like that you're kind of like a hard worker, that you don't need a lot of rest or vacation or relaxation, and you can kind of keep plowing through everything. They like that whole idea of someone who is just like dedicated to their goals and goes after them no matter what. Interestingly enough, in a way, they like that like you are this really hard worker, but with this Ace of Wands card over here, they're also showing, this is also being shown to me that they like that you don't have like a spark of passion for that hard work, that you're kind of just going at the hard work and just kind of grinding away. This person wants to be your kind of spark or your inspiration. They want to inspire you. So your lack of inspiration is actually kind of like enchanting to them, because they want to be the one that kind of like inspires you. At the same time, they know that you have a very childlike nature, and you're very like you're a very magical person. So this is seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. They really like that you have like a very optimistic approach to life. I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah, with Eight of Cups reversed over here, they definitely see you as someone who is dependable. With Queen of Swords right over here, they definitely see you as someone who is logical, who can kind of like dissect arguments very easily and clearly. Let's look at this card even further. This woman is petting a vulture, right? And her blade is kind of curved like a flame. So I'm definitely seeing a sense of like rebirth and like kind of, in a sense, like reincarnation with this card. So this person likes that you can kind of start over from scratch. There may have been something or some story you told them where you kind of had to like leave something behind and you had to start over from scratch, and you just picked up from ground zero and you just built up the same way you built up the previous thing in your life. And so the fact that you just built up again and you just kind of started and kept going and going again and did the same kind of go-getter, hard work mentality attitude, they really like that about you, that you can kind of like start over from ground zero when need be. They also really admire your judgment. And here's another thing that they like about you is that like if you look at this woman with this horn and these skeletons are like all rising up and dancing around her, they like that you can kind of summon them into action. So there is an aspect where at the same time they like the fact that like maybe they could be the ones to inspire you. The true truth of the matter is that you truly inspire them, and that's something that they really love about you. I think it was interesting that this is the only card that was flipped like this at the beginning of the reading, and then it got flipped over. It's almost like they don't want you to know that you inspire them. They're kind of just trying to admire you for like your basic hardworking qualities. This is a person who really just admires you for those kind of like basic hardworking qualities, but they don't want to admit that like you kind of inspire them to action. You inspire them to make better decisions in their own life. With Strength reversed, I definitely see that they see you as someone who basically cannot be tamed. Like you're just so wild and unpredictable. And that's something that they really like about you. They like the fact that you are like kind of a wild creature, but in a way, this is interesting. This card is showing up because it is a double-edged sword in this situation. They also are in a way scared of you because of your wild and unpredictable nature. So your crush kind of fears you as well as kind of admires you for being like in a way uncontrollable, or in a way like not being able to ever be tamed by anyone. Let's see what else. Yeah, with Eight of Cups over here, they definitely admire the fact that like no matter what the difficult situation is, that you can like stick with it, like at least on your end. Because what we see over here with the Queen of Swords is there is this element of rebirth. So if someone like, you know, for example, if you were in a relationship situation and they saw that relationship that you like stuck with it till the end, but the other person just broke up with you and left you hanging, they really admire that you were the one who stuck with it and like stayed dedicated throughout the course of that situation, where even though the other person left, but they also admire that you can just pick up and start over. So they do appreciate your loyalty, but they also appreciate the fact that you can start over when necessary. They think those are two very admirable qualities about you. Because on one hand, they like that like you can have a stick-to-itiveness kind of attitude, and on the other hand, they really like that like when all is said and done and like life gives you lemons, you can like turn around and you can like follow the other path, or make lemonade and follow the other path. Yeah, it's really interesting here. There is an interesting element that like, Yeah, it's interesting. They like the fact that they can like inspire you. So you must have had a conversation with them, or you might if you haven't had a conversation yet, you might have a conversation with them where they feel like they can like kind of inspire you or get you motivated for things in life that you wouldn't normally think of. Like this also represents like the fact that they like the fact that you could be like how do I put this? In the intimate sphere of life, you could be maybe more timid, or you could be more reserved, not like flaunting your sexuality, basically. Um, yeah, I'm definitely seeing too that they just love your activity. That's like the main thing that's coming through is they love how hardworking you are. That's something they really admire about you. So yeah, that was your reading. If you liked your reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards pretty frequently, once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, we're going to move on to the third group with the Lapis Lazuli. Hey, Pile 3. This is if you picked the Lapis Lazuli. Let's get into your reading. So the only two cards that flipped up out of the deck that flipped up kind of like face up were this Flexible card and this Gossip card. So let's continue on with the reading. Let's flip over some other cards. We have King of Swords, the Emperor in reverse, the Hermit upright, Nine of Cups. It's interesting, we have a couple court cards here. This is the Seven of Pentacles reverse and the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Okay. First of all, the first thing that's sticking out to me very strongly is that this person, let me make sure the camera's on. This person really, like, they like that you're like financially not all there in your life. Similar to group one, they like that you're like financially like dependent on others because they see that as kind of like an in for them to like get in your good graces. And also similarly, they like that you like don't plan that far into the future with finances. This can just represent simply like living in the moment or spending freely on things in the present moment. They like that you kind of like are pretty loose with your finances in that regard, and kind of like, it's interesting. It's like you're living in luxury, but the fact is you can't like afford to live in luxury. And so they like that kind of thing about you. Yeah, and with the Knight of Cups right here, they love your romantic side. They love your romantic side, and they believe in kind of an exchange of romance for like profit. Like that sounds bad, but let me explain. Like they really just like the way they divide responsibilities in the relationship is they want to take care of the material side of the stuff, and they want their partner to be kind of like romantic about things. This could also be a little delusional on their part. I can see them being a little delusional and like them thinking you're very romantic when maybe you're not. But this is still, even if they're delusional about it, this is something that they find attractive about you. They really like the fact that you are like romantic, or that you can provide like kind of like the charming atmosphere, you know, and they can provide that like financial stability. And the other thing too that's coming out really strongly, they love that you're flexible. Like not a lot of people in their life are like very flexible with them. The thing that they really, really like about you is the fact that like you're very go with the flow, right? There is an element that they have been with people in the past who had their own agendas, and they really didn't like that. They like people who kind of like are just chill with whatever comes their way, and like just adapts to whatever situation's going on in their life. Like, and they've really met some people like this that are like kind of like chill like that on the outside, but then like on the inside really do have their own agenda. So they're really kind of like really like the fact that you're flexible, or that you appear flexible. So I don't know how far you guys have gotten to know each other, but they definitely like that fact about you, that you're flexible. This gossip card's pretty interesting. They like the fact that they can like get the know on people through you. Like they like the fact that like you have like all the information, or that people share with you like all the information, and that you freely share it with them. They like when they get to like hang out with you and like gossip about people, or like gossip about friends, or even like celebrities or people on that you watched on TV. Could even be people in like movies or books that you both have read. They like the fact that you guys like talk about the characters and the characters' traits and all that good stuff. They like kind of the whole psychological aspect behind that. With King of Swords here, it's almost as if they like the fact that you are, well, first of all, there's a peacock here. So they definitely are attracted to your physical beauty. They're very like, they find you very like attractive on like a classically beautiful scale. So what does that mean? So it's less of like a raw attraction and more of just like a, wow, they're like so gorgeous. Like they're so classically beautiful. They find you to be classically beautiful. The Emperor reversed, they like that you like, or when you kind of like abandon structure in your life. So like if you ever have a moment in your life where you have kind of like a structure or like something you stick to, they like when that crumbles away, or like when you kind of like forget the path, you know, they like that you kind of forget the path that you're on, and just kind of like this flexible attitude with the Emperor reverse. This person's definitely go with the flow, and they want someone who can go with their flow like pretty easily. Like when they need to move, they need someone who can like move with them pretty quickly. So that's something they really like about you. King of Swords is interesting. They like how you use your logic. They like how you can like subtly manipulate your logic to one degree or another. So like without like using too much effort, they like how you can like slowly twist little things to like make one thing seem like another thing, I guess is the best way to put it. And then finally, like with the Hermit card here, they love that you're so in touch with your soul, that you like spend a lot of time alone, and that you really like are so in touch with your inner world and who you are as like a person. They like that you know yourself, and that's not something that they can say about most people, and it's something that they really, really do admire about you. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that this person like really sees you as kind of like whether this is idealism or not, because I'm definitely seeing something about right here with there's a whole idealism of like a dynamic, like a specific dynamic they want to go down. This person really likes these things about you. They like that you're kind of a little unstructured, but like at the same time very flexible and go with the flow. It's possible this person wants to be the authority with the Emperor in reverse, and they don't want other people to be the authority in their life. You know, but at the same time, I'm not really seeing that this person is that authoritarian. I think it's just in a role that they want to play at times, like when they want to be the authoritarian, they like can be at whatever given point it is. Yeah, I think that's about it for the reading. So, yeah, if you like that reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards like this pretty frequently, once every 1 to 2 weeks about. And with that said, we're going to move on to the fourth group with the Citrine. Hey, group 4, this is if you picked the Citrine. So, let's see. For this pile, none of the cards flipped out of the decks. I had to draw all of them. So there's no like urgent message from this person. The way I take that is probably like if this is your crush, they maybe don't know much about you, or there is yet some stuff to be revealed. Like if you do approach them, they might learn to love more in different things about you that have not been revealed yet. So let's get into it and we'll see if that is the case. So we have message and yeah. So this card always comes up to me when there's like distance in a situation or a relationship, like you have to communicate over like a long like distance. It also represents like distance in an actual connection. So like if you have a crush, it's probably like they don't know that you have a crush on them, and vice versa. Or like there's not really a connection that can be made that's very like physical or tangible, or the communication is like, it's like sending off communication and then waiting for a response. So you might be in a no contact situation with this person, but we'll keep seeing. Knight, loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. And then let's see what else you got. The Star, reversed, strength, reversed, King of Cups, the Empress, reversed, the Three of Cups reverse and the World reverse. Okay, so a lot of this reading is going to be things that how they would feel about you if they actually were closer in a connection with you, is what I'm saying. Some of you actually might know this person, so if that's the case, we're disregard that message. But usually when I get message in a bottle when all the cards didn't flip up at all, I'm definitely saying that there's not really a strong connection with this person, at least yet. But let's go into like more of like what they can, what they're gonna like about you. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm getting a strong message with the Star card and the Strength card reversed. That, in a way, they like that you're shy, I think at first, but they also like that, like, there is a glimmer of courage in your eyes. Like, I guess that's the best way to put it. There's another thing too here where they kind of like that you don't take your beauty too seriously. Like when they kind of meet you, they like that you don't like really like amp up your attractiveness or try to like grab attention with the way you look. Like that's something that's coming through very strongly, that they like the fact, they like the kind of like natural look that you have, or the fact that you don't focus too much on beauty. And they also like that you're a very serious person, like very serious-minded person. You're the type of person who doesn't like to like party or celebrate too much. They really admire that about you. They like the fact that you like take life seriously and you're not about like the frivolous kind of things in life. I definitely see that if this connection gets further, this person could definitely see you as a potential soulmate, like someone who they really, really like someone who they really are connected to, really want to be in a kind of a connection or relationship with. There's also an element that they like the fact that you might be traveling a lot with this person. There might be the fact that the connection, they're really attracted to the fact that there's a traveling element to this connection, that you guys could, especially with Message in a Bottle and the World, that you could travel across different distances, or they like the fact that you're at different parts of the globe. With the World card, this could represent being at different ends of the globe. With King of Cups, they really like that you're stable. They really like that you're like stable and kind of grounded. This king right here is like lifting this cup up like a cheers, like a toast. I definitely see that there's an element like, just like with these women that are lifting up and cheersing their toast, there's an element of like celebration, but it's more of a serious celebration. It's more of the fact that like they want to make sure that they are kind of celebrating with you privately. Like, I think they like that whole idea of like private parties versus like big going out and being social in the public. I think they want to keep the relationship away from mind's eye. That's something that they like about you, is that you're more private, I guess. And that if you did like reveal intimate moments, it would be in a more private setting. With Knight, interestingly enough, loyalty, romance, chivalry, love, honor. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that loyalty here. That's really coming through kind of strongly. And they definitely see you as like someone who is romantic. Yeah, they definitely see you as someone who is romantic, albeit a little like less inclined to celebrate or go out and party. So not romantic in the superficial sense, but in the kind of like serious, kind of grounded sense. Yeah, it's interesting. We have the Star reversed and the Strength card. There is kind of a message that this person might feel like they can't achieve you, or that there's like a lot of obstacles in your path. Like it's not just the next thing that's landing in your life. Like, and that's one thing that they might like about this connection, is that there's a little bit of challenge involved in it. That it's not just so easy. You're just not so easy to accomplish, so easy to get, basically, that you kind of like present a little bit of a challenge to them, whether that's through distance, what I see with the World and Message in a Bottle, or whether that's through just kind of like the elements of, and Strength reversed can represent to me like a sense of wildness or being untamed. And I'm definitely seeing that in correlation with the Empress card in reverse, is that there is an element where like you maybe have like an untamed look, like you kind of have a wild, kind of like ferocious appearance to them. And I mean that very metaphorically. Like there's just something about you that's like not really like completely like civilized, I guess is the best way to put it. But they like that. They kind of like that you're like raw and real. I don't think this person gets much of that in their life. Anyway, yeah, that was your person. That was if you picked the citrine crystal. So if that's what your crush thinks of you, or will think of you, I know there's might be some distance for some of you in this reading, but if you like that reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards like this pretty frequently, once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, we're going to move on to the very last group, group 5, with the Amethyst heart. Hey, group 5, this is if you picked the Amethyst heart right here. Yeah, so let's get into your reading. These are the 3 cards that flipped up right away. For your readings, when I shuffle, these cards are the ones that like pop out and then I see the card. And so I place them face up like this, just so you guys know which ones are those. And then the rest of them, I usually either draw, or I draw. So these ones were all drawn. So let's get into your reading. Let's flip over the rest of your cards. The High Priestess in reverse. The King of Wands upright. Queen of Wands reverse. 7 of Pentacles and Knight of Cups. Interesting, those 2 cards came out in other readings, but let's get into this. Okay, this is an interesting connection right here, and all right, we'll get into this. So with the first thing that's like really important with this person, the one thing that they like about you, and I guess how they perceive you, is that with the Hermit reverse and the High Priestess reverse, we're going to start with your weaknesses and we'll move on to your strengths. So the Hermit reverse and the High Priestess reverse just indicate that they like the fact that you don't know yourself that well and you're not that in tune with your intuition. I definitely see that with the High Priestess in reverse and by the book, they like you because you follow like tradition. They like the fact that you follow those who've come before you, and you're really kind of like by the book with your methods and your methodology with how you approach things and in your life. So whether if they've seen you, like say for example, if they've seen you cook a meal before, they like the fact that you follow the recipe like straight out of the book, that you don't branch off and do your own thing too much. They like the fact that you follow the rules and you stick with it like that. They like that you're kind of like a good boy or girl, I guess is the best way to put it. They really like the fact that like you're just kind of like easy like that. They don't want anything really complicated. But at the same time, they are a little attracted to the fact that you are a little cold with them, that you kind of reject their dependency. I see that this person has a very dependent personality, but what they truly need is kind of like, what they're attracted to is a shakeup of like, or at least what they're attracted to right now. They like that shakeup of like kind of not having their affections returned. That we see that really clearly here with the Knight of Cups, is they want someone who's not romantic, not at all like emotional. They like the fact that you are like, you seem like you have a long-term vision of your future as far as like finances go, that you really save for a rainy day, or you're really frugal with your money. They see that as something that's very reliable. They like the fact that you're reliable, that you go by the book and you know, save for a rainy day. They like the fact that you don't know yourself that well. And also they like the fact that there's this like potential about you, that they see that you're like this natural born leader and that you're always ready to jump into action. You know, there's something like with this lion right here, he's like, for like with this guy, and he has like these wands, there's a volcano exploding and a lion roaring. They like the fact that you are like, in a way, volcanic. Like they like the fact that like you could erupt at any minute. And that's like something that's really like intriguing to them for some reason. And they definitely see, like, if you look at this Queen of Wands with her cat, and she's just like, and this cat's calm and just looking, right? Like if you notice that this lion is like roaring and then this cat is just patiently looking, right? They're definitely, they like the fact that you kind of let them observe you. Like they want to just kind of observe you and like see what you're about. And they like that you have this natural kind of like leadership potential. You have this kind of like very explosive energy that's very palpable. And they're kind of like almost fascinated by that. Like in a strange way, with this like hypnotism, what I'm getting with the Queen of Wands, they're very like fascinated with like your innate charge, I guess is the best way to put it. Like you have this charge about you. But they definitely, one of the things they don't like, if you know, they like the fact that you're not romantic, that you're kind of don't have that kind of aspect about you. They like that you're traditional. They like that you invest for the long run. And with this femme fatale, they like when you turn down their affections. They don't really like when people are like, I don't know if it's just people or just you, they like the fact that you turn down their affections. It makes them feel like that they're, you know, they don't have to feel as dependent on you. It kind of cools off the connection a little bit because they have this kind of dependency towards you. And then with femme fatale, like right here where it says, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. So that's kind of like what they're seeing, is they're kind of like seeing that you're kind of more reliable because you don't like cater to their every whim desire, that you kind of like stand aloof from them. But they definitely see that they can help you with this intuitive and this soul-searching nature of yours that you are missing or lacking. They really like that about you, that they want to help you with that. So that's something that is important to them and that they see in this connection. So that was what your crush thinks of you or likes about you. If you like the reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, you can subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards like this pretty frequently, like once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, that was the last reading for today, for this video. So I will bid you adieu. See you later in the next pick a card. Bye.